Hello, my name is Chris Miley, and I'm one of the school counselors here at Aurora High School. And I hope to give you some great information about our College Credit Plus program, which is one of the many ways students can earn college credits while they are in school. So, what is College Credit Plus? It is Ohio's dual enrollment program that offers students both high school and college credit at the same time. Here's some basic information about the College Credit Plus program, which we often call CCP. You may have heard it called that for short. We have many colleges in Northeast Ohio who participate in the CCP program. Not every college participates. All public colleges do, and some of the area private colleges as well. And you will see their contacts at the end of our presentation. Students may apply to more than one college if they're interested in both Kent State main campus and maybe Cuyahoga Community College Eastern Campus. They can go through the process with both and then make a decision later or even take classes at each one. But typically students apply to the one college that they're interested in and take classes mainly at one campus. That is for most of our students. So to be eligible, you have to be in grades 7 through 12. So our presentation today is geared toward 6th through 11th graders currently, so they're planning ahead for next year. You have to be an Ohio resident. You can choose from a variety of college courses, and there are some rules. They're called Level 1 and Level 2 courses. Your high school counselor can help you with that, as well as the college counselor. The college counselors are very well versed in not only their own courses, but the leveling of courses and what's equivalent to high school graduation requirements. And just to give you an example, a 3-credit hour college course on a college campus is equivalent to one of our high school units. So for example, a government course that is first semester at Kent State University would count towards 1 year of government at our high school. Some further basic information. You must successfully complete the course, of course, to earn the credit. If you withdraw from the course, or if you fail or withdraw from the course at a later time where the college then makes a mark on your college transcript, that mark is also made on your high school transcript, which then means it goes into your GPA at both the college and the high school. Students may take courses during the summer, fall, or spring semesters. They may use all of those semesters, or they may just want to take one summer course. It is up to the student. And they also, again, may take a class on the college campus or an online class. So there are steps to participation. Step 1 is eligibility. Students must apply through the College of Interest and follow their requirements, which does include some type of assessment, oftentimes an ACT or SAT. Here are some examples of assessments you may find when you're researching which colleges you'd like to apply for CCP. Again, a lot of them take ACT and SAT. I know even Kent State main campus has a shortened version of the ACT called the ACT Residual, which they can give students as well instead of having to take the full ACT, especially with what has been going on right now with a lot of tests being canceled. Colleges are being flexible and they're offering other options for students. So it's important to connect with the College of Interest and find out what their requirements are. Step 2, applying to the college. So not just taking the test, but there is an application the student will have to complete and will have to meet the requirements just as any other college student would have to meet them. These requirements are easily found on each college website. So if you did a search for Kent State University CCP requirements or just CCP, and you can find their webpage for that, and some of them are on the contact information at the end of this presentation as well. So find out what those requirements are, find out what those deadlines are, and make sure you get those things in on time. It is up to the college whether they will admit you or not. So it's important that you do these things on time, as many of these deadlines are very strict. It's rare to find a deadline that can be broken unless, again, it's something that's been extended due to COVID. But you will find that these deadlines are quite strict from the college. Step 3 is actually registering for your courses. And the college advisors are extremely helpful in this process. Your high school counselor or middle school counselor, since we're also possibly speaking to some of our younger students, we can be of help in determining what will meet graduation requirements, but we do rely heavily on these college counselors to talk with you about their courses they offer. And also they are very good at helping you understand what will count as a level 1 course and if it'll count as a high school requirement in a lot of cases. But we are here as your school counselors as a resource as well. So what courses can a student take? So there are substitution courses for graduation requirements. I use the example of a government class. So for government, you can take something called American Politics. It will also count as your government requirement. So you would do that for a semester of your choice, and then you get the full high school graduation requirement for that semester course. Here are some examples of courses that count as level 1 courses, and the college advisors will help walk you through this as well. Course eligibility rules. Again, here we are talking about level 1 and level 2 courses, and think of level 1 courses as those general education requirements. So it could be anything in the core classes. It could be an elective that's a basic general education requirement elective. And once you complete those, then you can move on to level 2 courses. And AP courses count as part of those level 1s as well. So that's part of the equation, which we won't get into detail on to confuse everyone, but know that your past AP coursework may also help you in that regard in getting to the level 2 courses should you be interested in taking one. So how are students graded? How does this work? With the grade you earn in your college course also goes on your high school transcript, and it is factored into your GPA at both the college and the high school. Grade weighting in particular, so courses that you take on the college campus or online through the College Credit Plus program are weighted similarly to AP courses at our high school. So if you receive an A in a CCP course, it would be a 5.0 in your GPA, just as the AP courses are weighted. How many classes can you take? Well, students can take up to 30 credit hours per year. They can take these 30 credits over any of those semesters. So that the count on those start with the summer semester. So when you're talking about preparing for next year, if you would like to take a summer course, that will be the first semester included, then fall and spring. And when those 3 are totaled together, it cannot be more than 30 credit hours. Over the lifetime of the CCP program for a student, the limit is maxed out at 120 credit hours over your middle school and high school experience. We don't have many kids that get to this 120 mark. Most of the students that participate in CCP at Aurora High School tend to be seniors, and the next largest group are juniors. And that is the biggest bulk of our CCP participants. So what are the differences between high school and college? If you haven't taken a CCP class before or an AP course, these are some things that you want to think about. For example, tests. Your parents will be able to confirm this for you. In college, there tend to be fewer tests. So you are doing a full year course in a semester, and there may be only 2 or 3 or 4 large assessments. Where if you're in a college prep course, such as US History or Social Studies 10 course, you are going to have these tests spread out over the entire year, and they tend to be at the end of a unit. Or, when we have midterms and finals, you experience something similar to that. And if you've taken an AP course, or if you're in an AP course now, you may say, well, yes, I know what college is like because I'm in an AP course. So think of CCP courses similar to AP courses in that they could be more rigorous. Your tests could be weighted more, and those types of similarities. That includes study time. The same thing goes, whether you're in a high school college prep course or an AP and CCP course, your homework time and time spent out of class can look different. And in high school, a lot of information you learn is from your class time with your teachers. They provide a lot of that during class time. In college, including AP and CCP courses, you may have a significant amount of learning that's required of you on your own time. Here are some other differences. With grades at the high school, you may have some additional things added in. Might be a lot more smaller quizzes or formative assessments. The role of the parent is quite different. In high school, there's a close connection between parents and teachers if the parents and teachers initiate that. At the college level, for a parent to see your grades, the student either has to show them or the student has to sign off through the FERPA waiver so that they can see a student's grades. The teachers can, or the parents cannot just contact one of your instructors at the college level to connect with them like they can at the high school. That's a little bit different. And with accommodations, if you are a student that receives accommodations through an IEP or a 504, there is a lot of connection with the staff at the high school. And with college, it's only through the Americans with Disabilities Act, Section 504, and a new plan would then be developed at the college level to distribute to your instructors there. And again, that looks different. It must be initiated by the student. Of course, parents can help with that, but it looks a little bit different at the college level. So what are the benefits of participating in CCP? Well, of course, we said you can earn high school and college credit at the same time. You can get a head start on a certificate or a head start on an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. Some students like the benefit of trying out college a little bit early. You know, what is college going to be like? Am I going to be able to handle living away from home? And why not try one class before I graduate, or try one junior year and a couple more senior year to see if I can bridge that gap and be ready to head off to college. Also, you can save some money on your tuition and textbook costs by doing some credit hours before you graduate from high school. What are the consequences of underperforming? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Our students have done pretty well with our CCP coursework, especially the last few years. Our numbers have been wonderful as far as our student participation and their performance in their CCP classes. Every once in a while, we do have to have a meeting with a student and a parent about the consequences of not achieving in those courses. So you need to maintain your college GPA, just like you're used to maintaining your GPA at the middle school or the high school. And there is a dismissal process in place. So the first step would be to be placed on CCP probation. And that is if you earn a GPA in your college courses lower than a 2.0. And you may hear the college advisors speak with you about this as well, especially if they get a progress report from one of their professors saying that you are below that at the midpoint of the quarter or the semester. And while you're on probation, the following semester, after you were just placed on probation, you may only take one college course, one CCP course. And it also cannot be in the course in which you earned a poor grade. If you do not improve, then you are placed on dismissal. During dismissal, you cannot take CCP courses with the college. You can ask for an appeal, and there is an appeals process in place. And if you have any questions about this, please connect with your child's counselor. We will talk you through this. It's very individual based on what subject the student took, how many classes they were taking, how close their GPA is, and we'd be happy to talk with you individually about this. What are the expenses for College Credit Plus? This is a very common question. You mean I don't have to buy my books? This is often asked of our students. There is no cost for tuition or the typical college fees or books that is covered. We do have a process in place where we expect our students to see if the book that they need is in the high school library where Mrs. Berry is, and that could be a simple email to her, or students can visit her in the library to find out if their book is indeed available and they can pick it up and have it right away. If it is not available, then the student would then get their book through the college. And each college is a little bit different in how you acquire those books, but there is a procedure in place so that you do not have to pay for them. So make sure you know what that is. I know at Cuyahoga Community College, they have the student get a student ID with their picture, and when they go to the bookstore, they at the register will scan their ID so that they can get their books at no charge. So you don't have to worry about getting reimbursed. You should be able to handle everything without having to pay any upfront fees. Now that is for public colleges. In most private colleges, it's the same way. There could be a small additional cost to families. I haven't run into this yet, but it is possible. So we need to make sure you're aware that there could be some small fees if you go through a private college. But you can ask them, they'll be upfront with you and let you know if there are any fees. Also, there could be some optional expenses. I know, if you go to the Kent State campus in Twinsburg, there is no parking cost at all, but if you go to main campus, you're going to find that there is a parking cost. So it depends on the college and depends on just their current situation. You might run into some strange cost where you want to buy a ticket for a fine arts course where you have to go visit an art gallery or watch a play. And these might be some small costs that you could run across, but nothing usually that's very costly to the family. This is probably the most important slide in our presentation. So please take note of this. This date is extremely strict. There is no changing this date unless the state changes it. This is a deadline for the intent to participate form. This form will be readily available to you. We will have it posted on the guidance website. We will have copies of it in the guidance office. If you can't find it at any time, just email your child's counselor and we will get it to you. It is due every year, April 1st. This also is required for students who have participated in prior years and have turned in intent to participate forms in prior years. So this must be turned in each year. There is no leeway for April 2nd, April 3rd. The only leeway that we saw was during 2020, there was an extension by the state. So if the state does extend it again, they will post it on the Ohio Department of Education website, the Ohio Higher Ed website, and we typically post that as well. So Aurora High School does not extend it, but the state may extend it. And we have seen that again only one time, and that was this year in 2020. Some of you may wonder, well, what support services are available for students? My student tends to use the supports available at the high school. So what's available to them for these college courses? So of course, high school counselors, we are still here for the students. We can guide students through problem solving on how to find support at the college or any questions about their coursework. The college advisors also play a huge role in the student course selection process. And then also colleges often have support services on their campus, and the college advisors can help you navigate through those. What about athletic eligibility? So it's important when you're a student athlete, you need to make sure you have a schedule that will provide you with enough credits and enough of strong grades to get you where you need to be. So this goes through, when I say both of those, some of our students are looking to meet NCAA requirements as well when they get to college. So it's important to know both the OHSAA requirements and also the NCAA requirements if you're looking to play a D1 or D2 sport. It is on the responsibility of the student, but we also do our best to look over things and make sure students are meeting all of those requirements. If a student ever has a question, they should consult their high school counselor so we can provide resources for them on how to, so they can double check what it is they need to meet. Also, just a side note here, number 2, that summer CCP courses cannot count for OHSAA requirements for high school participation. Will these course credits through CCP transfer to colleges? This is up to the colleges that are receiving the credits, of course. If it's an Ohio public college, they tend to transfer pretty easily. And there's a handy website here on this slide, transfercredit.ohio.gov. I've looked at Transferology on previous occasions. The college advisor can help guide you through this. So there may be college classes that the student wants to take through CCP that may not transfer, but they're still of interest, and that's okay. Just as they would take an elective in high school that isn't an AP course, but it's something that's a passion to the student. So, depending on how much you want to make sure these credits transfer, there are resources there and available to students. So this is an important question. What does it mean to be college ready? So when you are debating whether to take CCP courses, this is something that really needs to be on the forefront. Are you ready to take college courses? If you've taken an AP course, you can probably answer this question a little easier than others. If you haven't, I think you need to put a little more thought into it. But you need to think about, are you emotionally ready? Are you, you may run into a book in an English class that you've registered for that is written for adults, and it's not content that's suitable, what most of us would think maybe is suitable in the high school world or the middle school world, that you will be required to read at the college level. So that's a thought. Also going along with emotional and social transition, if I'm going to be sitting in classes with adults, 18-year-olds, 22-year-olds, you might have a 45-year-old or a 60-year-old in your classes. Am I ready to be sitting alongside these folks and having discussions with them during class? Am I ready for that? Am I ready in the way of time management and organization? Can I handle these courses? These grades, again, go on a college transcript and a high school transcript. They are calculated into your GPA at both places. And later in the presentation, you will see, I have it mentioned here as well, that it could affect your financial aid because it is part of your college GPA. And for financial aid, you need to keep your GPA above a certain number. And so if you're ever concerned about that, when you are a CCP student, you can consult somebody in the financial aid office at that college, and they will help answer that for you. So what kind of deadlines are we talking about here? You already saw the hugely important one that has no moving, and that's the April 1st intent form deadline. But also check the college's deadlines for applications, check their deadlines for when they will receive when they need to receive your ACT and SAT scores, or if they will offer you a placement test instead. And please adhere to those deadlines. With the CCP program, we find that the deadlines are much more strict than a lot of other things our students run into during high school. So how do you get started? This is a nice little checklist for you. So first, you should turn in your intent to participate form. You need to apply to the college for admission. You need to make sure you are meeting the testing requirement for the college. And if it's something you can take there, you make sure you get that scheduled. And then make sure you are connecting with your school counselor here to talk about your graduation requirements and anything that you want to delete from your schedule here and you want to take there, that you are meeting what you need for graduation, especially those of you who are planning to do this your senior year. If you have any other questions, this is the government resource that has all of the information you will need. So you can log on here and get that answered. College contacts. This is the end of our presentation. But before you go, I'm going to run through and just show you the contacts, excuse me, for each of the colleges that we connect with. Here is the information for Kent State University main campus. And they tend to change who is in charge of CCP, so there's not a specific person's name, but this is their contact information. And you will find tons of resources on their CCP website. Many of our students, this is probably the most popular CCP option, is Kent State Geauga campus, which also includes their regional academic center in Twinsburg. They're considered all one unit between Geauga and Twinsburg. And here, Mary Lynn and Megan are great resources and can help you. You can email them anytime. You can tell we know them well. This is our most popular location for our students. It's handy because it's just about 10 minutes down the road, as many of you know. Also, when you go to this campus, you drive right up to the parking lot and walk inside to your classes. You don't have to walk a half mile or a mile to get there. You don't have to pay for parking. There are handy restaurants near this campus. So it's convenient for so many reasons, which is likely why our students choose this campus. We have had some students go to Hiram College for CCP coursework, and Sophia can help you at Hiram. So here is her contact information. We also have a few students that go to Tri-C, mainly to the Eastern campus, and Alicia can help you there at Tri-C. And you will see her contact information here and their office hours. I believe they are still working remotely, so you can start by emailing and scheduling either a virtual conference or an in-person conference if they are doing those at this time. We don't typically have students go to these next colleges. It's pretty rare, but we want to provide you with this information because if you have an interest, let's say in attending the University of Akron for your bachelor's degree, you may want to start by taking a CCP course with them. So I will provide you with the contact information for these next schools. So again, here's Greg at the University of Akron. Lakeland Community College, you would ask for Jamie, and here is Jamie's contact information. Notre Dame College, you would contact Tabitha. And at BW, you would contact Meredith. So that is the contacts that our students mainly connect with for CCP, and then even a few others, like I said, that are in the area that we don't tend to have students choose, but they are here and they do have CCP programs if you're interested. If you have any questions throughout the process or while you are a CCP student, please always connect with your student's counselor. We have Mrs. Oberlin's contact information, Mrs. Nenadal, and myself. You can email us, you can call us if you prefer. With the way this year is going, email tends to be the preferred method for students and parents right now. So that's what we have provided. If you have any questions at all, don't ever hesitate to contact us. We would be happy to help you. And I know some of you may be watching the other presentations as well, the Excel Tech and the AP, and maybe trying to compare which is the better route for you to go. And we can help you with that as well. It's an individual decision. It's hard to make a blanket statement. It's based on each student and what their goals are and what their interests are. So contact us anytime you have any questions at all. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation.